For the
Hey,
kids.
everybody, welcome back to part 2 with Toby Rand, musician extraordinaire from the band Radio XX. And like every other band that's ever existed in the history of the world, he's been in it. If you think I'm wrong, go ahead and Wikipedia, do a Google search right now. You'll see. I am not kidding. I'm JP. He is Nick. Toby, welcome back, man. It feels like it's been forever.
It feels like, I know, I thought I'd wear the, in case you wanted to take some like edits and do some filming later on, I'd wear the same outfit. So it's be easy to take some recuts.
I appreciate that. Coincidentally, Nick and I did the same thing, didn't even realize it.
I know. I was actually texting Nick on the side and I said, let's just catch JP. Let's catch JP out. But you fucking wore the same shit. So,
There you go.
So in part 1, we talked about, your long distance relationship with your daughter, London, 12 years old now. That was good stuff. We actually stayed kind of on topic with the whole dad thing in part 1, which is pretty impressive if you know this show. Right. With that being said, off the air, Nick said he wanted to start talking about music in your band. So I don't think of a better time than now to do just that. Nick.
Yeah.
Got the
so let's talk about Rockstar Supernova. That was actually one of my favorite shows on Fox back in the day. Yeah. And you're talking about you're on there with a mutual friend, kind of, Storm Large. And so, yeah. Well, what was that like?
So that was incredible, mate. Like, you probably, I don't know if you guys saw the season before, Rockstar In Excess, right? Yes. And so that was a huge show in Australia. I was like 26 or something at the time when I saw that. And I remember like all of our buddies getting together because we're all still playing live music. My band, I'm in a band called Duke Cartel, and we were just blowing up in Australia, kind of blowing up. We just started opening up for bands like Nickelback, and we did like the Taste of Chaos with like The Used and Story of the Year and all these other bands. And so we're getting like this little name in the industry.
For the record, Nickelback closed for you. Okay, you didn't open. Okay,
they did. They closed. I said, "Fuck you, Chad." But so when we watched the In Excess, like the boys were like, "Crap, why didn't you audition for that?" And so I didn't know about it. So when the next season came out, there was a really big push in Australia to audition for it. And I remember just kind of auditioning in Melbourne and then getting flown to Sydney for the final and getting over the line. And I remember, being the top 50 of us from all around the world came into LA to audition for it in 2006, early 2006. And I remember we were put up at the DoubleTree in LA and we weren't allowed to talk to each other. We had to all to be separate, And then you'd sit in your hotel room and you had to learn your 3 songs that you were going to audition in front of Tommy Lee, Gilby Clarke, Dave Navarro, Jason Newsted, and then all of their entourage. So 100 of the who's who of the industry. Carl Stubner, who runs Sanctuary Records, looks after Slash, Velvet Revolver, Fleetwood Mac, all that, ZZ Top. So I'm sitting there you're in your hotel room shitting your pants, learning your songs, and then because you had to put the mini set together. So like I did like I think I did like a Black Crow song, I did a Billy Idol song, I did an original, and I did a Killer song. So and I put it all together and made it a really fun set. So I'm practicing, and then you're allowed to go and sit by the pool. But the all these people, all your minders would be like, look, don't talk to each other because if you're on the show, we want to make sure you don't know each other. And I was looking, so we'd all sit around the pool looking at each other just like, and so we'll talk, me and Nick were talking about Storm Large, right? And so Storm Large is one of my dear friends to this day. And we didn't know who was going to be in the final 15, but she's like, fuck this, just topless by the pool. And so we're all sitting here just going, all right, we're not supposed to hang out. And you're allowed to have beers up there as well. So they had the winner, Lucas Rossi, who's a dear friend of mine still as well. He's drinking beers. Storm's got her top off. Everyone's just like dying to have a party, but we couldn't. We couldn't do it. But we actually did find ways for a lot of us to kind of sneak out and hang out and make friends and stuff like that, which was great. And then, but as the show took off, made it to the 15. Like Lucas and I became room buddies on the show, and Storm and I. Nick, you were talking that you grew up, from Portland with a lot of Portland friends and mutual friends, Storm and I. But yeah, can you remind me of who she was before? Because she was a badass when I first met her. But you knew her before.
Yeah, total punk rocker. Like, I mean, Storm Large and the Balls. We had Sweaty Nipples, Thresher. So kind of like a 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah.
Just hardcore, crazy. I mean, I remember seeing her around at the shows, and she was just like so full of life and just so crazy. And like when she was on stage, oh my God, like it's just like the most captivating thing. You're like, holy shit, how is she not more famous than she is? And so and a total sweetheart too. Like the 2 times I did meet her in person, like one of the sweetest women I've ever met. Like so nice, so awesome, so down to earth.
I love that you mentioned her name because you know, I was telling you as well. My girlfriend tried to surprise me, and I'm going to see Storm tomorrow night in New York City at Joe's Pub, and I wish I'd shut my mouth and hadn't kept on what are we doing though? Because I have things to do, and she's like, just shut the fuck up, okay? We're going to go and see Storm Large. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, but I'm so glad that I'm still dear friends with her, but. Yeah, that show was like integral for my career, and meeting people like Storm, meeting people like Lucas and my other friends, Magni from the Iceland and Delana, who came second. I mean, I was lucky enough to come third, which was awesome for my career. That was like a huge platform I got my band to come over, and we signed a deal over here and ended up touring America for 2 years and then put out a record. And we got to record at London Bridge Studios where Pearl Jam did 10. We had their producer, Rick Parisher, God rest his soul, he passed away a couple of years ago, who did our first record. And then a couple of years later, we had Brian Virtue, who worked with 30 Seconds to Mars. And, you know, and we were just so lucky that it wouldn't have happened if I didn't take that leap of faith. And you know, like being in Australia where the music scene it's incredible music scene. Like some of the bands that come out of there are fucking insane, but it's very hard to get across the pond and get your voice heard. And that was my doorway. And I felt a little sellout vibe personally, because I didn't grow up in America where you can do it. I grew up in Australia. It's like, you think you can fucking do it, do you, mate? All right. So, you know what I mean? We call it the tall poppy syndrome. So if anything in a field of poppies, if one grows out, you cut it down to size. So no one gets ahead. So you have to mentally get over that barrier. And I do feel that America does offer that. I remember hitting the stage and we would sell out like the Troubadour, or we'd sell at the Roxy on Sunset Strip. And I remember like going on stage and trying to get rid of that kind of like that thing where you can't do anything unless you have to be with the people, and going on stage and having Americans just like, yes, you can do it, man. Like it just felt really, really good. And that's probably testament to meeting people like Storm, is like these big personalities, because they were allowed to just like let go and let out and go crazy, you know. And it's pretty awesome, man. Like Rockstar was the best thing that's ever happened, for my career. And then where I've taken it from there has been like this, but it's amazing. I'm in it. Weirdly enough, I'm in a band now with one of the guys from INXS, who always says to me, "Why didn't you go on the INXS, Rockstar, you asshole? Because we might still be together today."
Right.
And I'm like, well, I can't go back in time, and you're an asshole too. How about that? And now we're eating.
Hey, happy freaking birthday, by the way, Toby. You said tomorrow.
Thanks, mate. It's on the 21st, yes.
21st. So you're one day out of being a Sagittarius then.
I am Sagittarius.
Okay, that's the last day then.
That's the last day, yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
I'm a fellow Sag too, brother.
That's it, my buddy. Happy birthday,
48, buddy. 2 weeks, I got a week ago. When the hell was my birthday, Nick?
A week ago. Not even a week ago. 6 days
I was going to say, you look 47.
Oh, I appreciate that.
No, I'm kidding.
If I haven't dyed the beard. I usually dye the beard on.
Oh, no. I got my grays. I just had to trim.
I know. I told them, just let it go, man. Like,
mine don't even come out gray. They come out clear. It's
it comes out. Yeah.
It's the trials and tribulations of being a redhead.
I'm not sure you can tell, but like this is not real, right? So I figured that if I keep on doing the platinum blonde thing, the transition to gray is just the next step.
Well, I did the Platinum Blonde thing probably from 23 to 28 back in the late 90s, early when it was like totally in. And I've been contemplating doing it again, but I can't rationalize with myself a 48-year-old father of 3 who's not a rock star, mind you, but kind of a little bit in my own neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Would I do it? And then I just haven't done it yet, but I really liked it.
I'll tell you what, dude. I'll do it with you. We'll go get our tips frosted.
I tips, son. I go all in.
And why don't you guys just start a Sum 41 tribute band and just call it a day? Let's do it. Come on.
I friggin' love that band, man.
Me too.
It's all. What's the song? It's all in vain. It's
Fat Lip.
No.
Into deep.
Too hard, kind too vain. We're hopelessly useless and blind to all we are. Oh, what's the?
This is an audition already.
I know. Keep going. Holy shit.
Anyway, that song came on Sirius Radio the other day, and it's like It's so.
You didn't start crying, did you?
No. I turned that shit as like to 11 and rocked out, and I realized that my Sirius satellite radio has a skip button and a backwards button. So live radio, I'm like, I swear to God, I played the song like 7 times in a row.
That's awesome.
It's so freaking now. You guys, I gotta know. I gotta know the title of that song. I know
Sum 41.
It's
dropped a new song with Nothing Nowhere. Holy shit!
Is it amazing?
It's so good. Like, I don't know if you know who Nothing Nowhere is. He's a kind of an emo guy. Okay. He works with Dashboard. He's worked with The Fame. Yeah. It's pretty much everybody. And he just dropped a new single with Sum 41. It's like, holy damn! Like, so
okay, good. I'm gonna have to check that out. You know what I love? Because we're talking about holding on to our youth, right? And so all of I feel like we are. All of the bands from our youth are having reformation and tours again. So
the whole emo cruise thing, you got freaking everybody from 2000 to 2004 on this cruise. My buddy was the barber on that. So he's out there hanging out with Pierce the Veil and freaking just all the old emo bands.
Yeah.
We're all to blame.
We're all to blame.
We're all to blame.
There you go.
That's all.
Me and Nick actually knew that. We just wanted you to spend time looking.
I know we wanted you to sing.
Appreciate that, you guys. All right, man.
That's awesome.
We got about 10 minutes left of the show.
Yeah.
And what did I tell you, man? Off the rails. Just
that's it.
Easy peasy.
I'm going to go off the rails real quick. So
you already are off the rails, son. Bring us back on.
We're talking about music. So I had some health issues that started back in July, and I started kind of like really getting in touch with my feelings because I was feeling depressed and like bummed out. So I started writing everything down. I wrote a song. My good buddy, Jesse Lawson, who was in JP's good buddy too. He was in Sleeping with Sirens. He's got like 4 gold records. He's doing the music for us. So we're going to have another famous friend do the vocals on it.
Wow.
So I should have a song out next year, which is kind of cool. Kind of another path of life and making the big announcement here on our podcast that
I love that, mate.
So
good for you, mate. It's interesting that you mentioned in the part 1 because I'm going to reflect from last week when we spoke together. When you were talking about feeling a little bit anxious and a little bit kind of uneasy about your new daughter coming into the world. The best way to get rid of all that anxiety is to kind of put out how you're feeling on the inside into a form of paper or speech or activity or whatever it is. So good for you for doing that, man, because that's what I've been doing pretty much ever since I started writing music. And that's why I don't think that my darkness or my anxiety, it's always kind of level because I'm allowed to not allowed to, but I found a vessel to get it all out, you know? Yeah.
Also, I kind of want to like break open to the whole guys being super tough and macho and not expressing their feelings, not talking about things when there's issues. I have a really good friend of mine, his little brother just committed suicide like about a month ago. And it's, if he would have talked about stuff or reached out, it's like, and that kind of got to me a little bit too with writing this song and some other songs I'm working on. It's like, okay, if I write my feelings down, I feel better. If I talk to my friends, I feel better instead of bottling it all in. And a big thing for me now is, guys, talk to people. You're feeling down, you're feeling shitty, talk to somebody, write stuff down, just get it out. Don't let it bottle in.
It's very true. It's just it's unfortunate that some of the circles that kids hang around in, it's not cool to do that. We're lucky that we've actually at an age now where we can pick and choose the people we hang out with. But when you're going to school and you're in your teenage years, you're kind of placed in an environment that unfortunately you can't always, pick and choose who's going to be in your class or who's going to be like, picking on you or being your buddy or whatever it is. So, I think it starts with the parents, to be honest with you. And that's why we're talking about Dadcast. It's like it's making sure that your kids feel comfortable talking to you.
Right.
And making sure that they, you want your kids to kind of think that you embarrass me, Dad, but you still want them to be able to feel comfortable coming to you and saying, oh, but, actually, Dad, I'm feeling a bit crap because this person at school is bullying me, or I don't like the way I look because of this. And then that our job is to reassure and keep them safe. So
that's a pickle I wouldn't say I have a problem with, but I worry about that because, say something goes wrong with my son. He does something wrong. He gets in trouble for it. Dad yells, has the time. He hates getting in trouble. I mean, who likes it? But that feeling, he's like uber sensitive. And on the flip side of that, I know that he has issues and hesitations on talking to me about something that happened in school because whatever happened would involve him admitting that he did something wrong. Therefore, he's hesitant to talk to me about it because he's scared he's going to get in trouble because of it. Getting past that barrier has been the toughest thing with all of my children. And it's always a constant reminder. It doesn't matter what you do. You always, no matter what the case, can talk to me, and I encourage it. I want you to talk to me, no matter how difficult it may be. Yeah. I am always on your team. I'm on your side. I mean, this is it's you and I, man, for the rest of our lives. It's there's no one on this planet more who's going to be on your side than me, ever, no matter what. So do not be afraid to tell me these things, please. And
that's true. I mean, I was talking to my daughter about responsibility because, kids, it's not cheap having kids, like particularly when they need like iPads and computers and iPhones and all this.
No.
It's not like they need them, but if they don't, they get left behind in society and learning and things like that. So my daughter's been through like 3 iPhones, 2 computers, right? And she gets so upset. I didn't mean to do it, And she goes, well, my friend picked it up and he's the one who threw it. And I go, here's the thing, all right? This is your property. You got to take respect of your property. But what happened was that she wouldn't tell us, and then we'd find out that the phone's broken, because she felt scared. And it's like, listen, what do you think is going to happen? Like obviously you're going to get in trouble or you're going to get a lesson, but. I'm going to give you a fucking another phone eventually. You know me by now, so come on. But yeah, you're right. It's like that. I mean, I remember being a kid, you used to hide all those things, like I'm getting into fights at school, I'd come home and have to hide, why you got your hair in front of your face. It's like, because you got a black eye, or whatever it is. And I'm thinking to myself, you kind of want your parents to be on your side, don't you? Like that. So, but that transition period is really tough, and I feel like you're in that situation with your son, and my daughter's 12 now, and I feel like we're good buddies and stuff. But that's going to get a little weird when more boys situations are going to come involved. Look at Nick nodding his head.
I've been through it already.
Yeah, it too.
Your stepdaughter, he knows.
It's We'll pray for you, brother. We'll just.
I know. Well, I mean, I'm looking. I hope London doesn't watch this. I mean, she can. Maybe she'll like it. But I was looking at her TikTok and I sent her all these pictures. I was telling you guys in part 1 of all her baby pictures or little photos and stuff like that. And she posted a little reel on TikTok going, "What did I look like when I was young?" And blah blah blah. I'm gonna show you one picture just because I can. Because
please do, man. Yeah. Absolutely.
Because she's such a little cutie. So this is me carrying her when she's little, like up the stairs. She's doing a little thumbs up.
Oh, and look at that. Who's that guy with the brown hair?
Exactly. That's the guy who wasn't holding on to his youth, So, so she did a little post and then what did I look like as a kid? And then the little friends go, oh, my God, you're so cute back then. I bet you got all the boys. And then one of her friends goes, and she still does. Oh. And I was like, and I went, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And I said, what's going on here then, guys? Right. So now I've just put myself into her world, and I probably shouldn't have done that, but I can't help myself. But
well, if I just tell my daughter's boyfriends, I'm not afraid to go to prison. Like whatever you do to her, I'll do to you. So
yeah, there you go.
Then we've always had that topic, really, Nick?
I know. And then I think about it later. I'm like, oh fuck.
Oh, I'm not sure if I want it.
Yeah.
No, danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, so I'm in that, definitely in that situation before that 14 comes around. So yeah.
Yeah, my daughter, my 18-year-old, she was just had her first like real boyfriend and had their first experience of he wanted to go further than she did, and she's like, no, and he dumped her because of it, and it like totally broke her heart. And she's like, and she like overshared the information. I'm like, I don't know how to say anything nice without being really pissed off and wanting to beat the shit out of this kid. Out of his dad for being a shitty parent. And I'm proud of you for not putting yourself in that situation and going further than you wanted to go. And the dude's not worth it. Like fuck him. He's not like, and
the good thing is that the guy removed himself, whether he's a dickhead or not. He removed himself without being even more of a dickhead, because if he had stuck around, he probably wouldn't be walking today. So
exactly,
that's so he did a good move, to be honest with you.
Like, he did,
Forget him and move on. That's what I was saying.
That's what I told her. Yeah.
Okay. So this is the troublemaker in the making as well. Okay,
this is baby girl who.
All right.
Oh man, that stupid light! I can't. Anywho,
no, you had it. Yeah, there you go.
She's gonna be that's gonna be trouble.
Yeah,
she's already trouble, but it's different kind of trouble, which I'm not looking forward to. All right, so Toby, I've got a couple questions. Nick, could you put together a fast five, or you want to skip it?
Let's skip it. Okay. I wasn't sure on a international dad fast five.
Well, I'm going to finish up with the normal question, and I've just tweaked a couple of the words, so it's going to work out right. But couple of random questions. Here we go. Toby Rand, TV or movies?
Movies.
Favorite movie? You got to pick one. You're trapped on an island to watch the rest of your life.
Braveheart.
Oh, didn't get all today stuff for nothing.
Yes.
I should have remembered that wrong.
Gladiator as well. Fuck.
Oh.
Okay. I'm going to say Top Gun Mavericks. I've watched it 15 times.
Oh, it's a good one. Okay. Revenge of the Nerds.
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay. God, that movie. You know how many times I put that damn movie as a kid was put on pause? I'm just saying.
Oh yeah. Okay. Betty. Yes. Betty.
All right. Toby Rand, you can play a show with any artist, living or dead, who you have not previously played with. Who's it going to be, and where's the show going to be performed at?
Oh shit. Wembley Stadium with. How dare you do this to me right now? Wembley Stadium with.
You can pick.
Let's say me with an acoustic guitar, Chris Cornell with an acoustic guitar, Wembley Stadium. There you go.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. Same question. Favorite that you have played with?
My favorite.
If you say Ben Carey, I'm going to slap you.
Slash. Tommy Lee. Oh, I mean, they're icons.
Right.
We'll put them in there for now. Dennis Rodman. There you go. Strangely enough,
Dennis Rodman.
Dennis and I co-hosted a show, a sport and rock and roll TV show. We pitched it in Australia for 10 days, and we went through 100 bottles of tequila, and the show never got sold, but we became good buddies.
What a shocker!
Dude, I want Dennis Rodman on the podcast. He's like the most interesting man in the world.
He is a dear human. That is. You just don't want to get on the wrong side of him, but he's fucking awesome. He is a lovely guy. I couldn't say.
I'm going to plant the seed, Toby.
You plant the seed, mate. Okay.
I would love to have him on.
All right. Let's see what happens.
Part of the contractual obligations, which we like to tell all of our guests at the very end of the show, is if you appear on Dadcast, you must give us a guest.
Okay.
Just hit me
was
your contact
completely
list.
horseshit. I made that up. That is not true at all.
I just feel like after The Last Dance, I feel like his price has gone skyrocketing just quietly because that documentary. Yeah. But anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
So, one of Nick's famous questions, which is part of the Fast Five, Toby Rand, you can have a billboard with anything on it. What's it going to be?
My mind went to the gutter. That was fucking weird.
You have to tell us.
No, I can't. No, a billboard with anything on it. The billboard is my blockbuster movie coming out. Fuck it. Let's go.
Okay. Is that the title of the movie? Fuck it.
Actually, how about it be my daughter's blockbuster movie or her album? Her album.
All right. See, London. Yeah. See, he's still thinking about you all the time. All right. The final question, and again, I got to tweak it just a bit for it to work for you. It's the most important question I like to think I ever ask of anyone on this show, and I try to ask every one of our guests. Yep. What is one piece of advice that you, Toby Rand, could give to a new father or soon-to-be new father from your perspective because you are internationally and doing it from a distance?
Okay. The one piece of advice is to remove yourself from feeling how your loss is and how you feel and your because I remember and your selfish needs. Okay, because I remember like thinking to myself, why isn't she relating to me? Why isn't she connecting with me? Try and put yourself into the child's feet and imagine this little vessel who is trying to connect with someone who is. A father is a huge responsibility in a child's eyes. Try and put yourself in their position. Try and coddle that inner child of yourself and get rid of your ego and become completely selfless. That's my advice.
There it is. Good sound advice from Mr. Toby Rand. Nick, you got anything else, brother?
No, man.
Can you believe an hour over 2 weeks has just gone?
Flown.
Phone by.
And I love Nick's disposition. He's like, nah, man, I'm going to call up all my buddies and go and see about 100 shows tonight. Like, look at he's just living the life, even though he's stressing about his child inside.
I'm thinking we need to do a part 2, but do like a Radio X. Have you, Bryce, and Benny on?
That'd be great.
Do you realize
because Bryce is anti-dad, don't you? So that'd be cool.
I know
that would be interesting. Yeah.
The fact though is we've done well over 100 episodes of this show. Ben has appeared on one episode, but that was in part with 3 other people. It's
with Brett Young,
Warren, and we've never had Ben solo ever.
Well, he's got a fantastic father-son story.
I know. He's got such a great story and a fantastic accent, just like yourself.
That's it, mate. His is more like country. Yeah.
He's like Keith Urban. He's
speaking of which, he just landed in Australia to see his dad.
Oh, cool.
Oh, is he there for the holidays?
He hasn't seen his father and mother in 4.5 years, and he hasn't been to Australia in 13 years. He just landed this morning. So
wow.
So maybe you can have him on next year. Yeah,
I hope to see. I guess I won't see him on the next Vegas trip.
That's it, man.
We'll see. One final seed plant. I'd like to throw out there. Every year we do, and it's coming up sooner than later now, Nick. We do a Father's Day episode. And we don't film it or shoot it on Father's Day, of course. We do it a couple weeks prior. But it's a smorgasbord of all the previous guests we had on the previous year. And there's going to be like 35 squares on this screen. Obviously, with time willing and schedules working out, we would love to have you on that as well. If it works out, is that something you'd be interested in?
I'd love to meet the other lad dads.
It'd be great. I just sit back and watch this screen of celebrity, and I mean from all walks of life, whether it be movies, TV shows, athletes, musicians, sports stars. It's a fun day. It's a fun episode, and you would be right there, secured in a perfect little spot on the screen, and we'd love to have you.
I'll be bringing my favorite bourbon for that one for sure.
Okay. Right. Oh my gosh! Speaking of bourbon, I was at Costco last night. And
I love Costco.
And so the lady had, I'm not even kidding, like 15 jugs of Irish cream.
Like the handles.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, I'm a member of Costco, Nick. And
Oh no, I said they have bourbon at Costco. I know you're a member.
No. Let me finish. You have the Irish cream, and I says, I told her, I said, I want to go to your party because I know what's happening. She's like, oh my gosh, and then she's like, you're the guy from Dadcast. I was like, oh yeah, whatever. I'm gonna talk to me about this drink, and she's like, I mix it with brown sugar bourbon.
Oh.
And I said, brown sugar bourbon? Oh my goodness. How come I've never heard of such a thing? I'm Irish too, wow. and so anywho, I got to go find, it's BRB. And that's literally what it's called. Brown sugar bourbon. And they sell it at liquor stores around here. I got to try that out. And
that sounds delicious. Did she call you daddy by any chance?
No. Her husband was there. Otherwise she would have. Anyway, yeah.
God, you guys.
Brown sugar bourbon. We got to check it out and try it. Party people, thank you so much for checking out this episode of Dadcast with the man, the myth, the musician, the rock star, Mr. Toby Rand. He had an amazing story to tell, and we'd love to hear more from you in the future. I cannot wait to hang out in person and see you guys perform live. I promise you, next show at the barbershop, whenever it may be, in Las Vegas, inside the Cosmopolitan. We are not sponsored by the Cosmopolitan. We're going to be there to check out that show, man. Thank you so much for being a guest. Happy holidays, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Happy New Year, boys. All the best. Appreciate it. That was a great hour to spend with you guys. Thanks so much.
We appreciate it. Thank you. And to everyone else watching worldwide, wherever you may be and however you may be listening, thank you so much for your support. We appreciate you. Please like it up, subscribe, comment, do all the things, and we'll catch you on the very next episode of Dadcast. See you.
See you guys.